Hello, and welcome to Living in His Shadow with LG Hargis. I'm happy you're here today, and I wanted to talk to you today about angels. There's all kinds of stories in the Bible about angels, who they are, what they do, and their purpose as messengers of God. Angels were in the beginning. Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So he created the heavens, and that's where angels live, and it looks like he created that first. And then the earth. In Genesis 3:24, we read that when man was cast out of the Garden of Eden, he drove man out, and he placed a cherubim, which is a type of angel, at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword, which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. So you remember Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which they weren't supposed to do. But there was a tree of life that if they had chosen to eat from that, we would not be in the mess we're in today. Again, I'm just going to touch briefly on angels and what they do. And don't forget that we are to worship God, not angels. So there's some new age crap where they worship angels. And that's really dangerous because Satan poses as an angel of light. So you don't want to be fooled by that. There's also angels that are on guard. Luke 4:10 says, he, meaning God, shall give his angels charge over you to keep you, and their hands shall lift you up, lest you dash your foot upon a stone. So it's like these angels are around to protect us. And people talk about, do we have guardian angels? Maybe we have one. Maybe we have as many as we need at whatever we're going through in life. But angels are on guard for us, and God instructs them to do that. There's also angels on guard for the little ones, because the Bible says in Matthew 18:10, it says, take heed that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you, that in heaven their angel always sees the face of my Father who is in heaven. So we are definitely assigned an angel. And the Bible also talks about angels unaware. In Hebrews 13:2 it says, do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing some have unwittingly entertained angels. And I think that's very interesting. I have, in a previous broadcast, talked about a couple of angel encounters that happened in my life and that happened in the life of my grandmother. And it was just that something happened, and I don't know how that happened, but it's for our good. So when you do entertain strangers, remember, you may be entertaining an angel. I just think that's beautiful that God has done that for us. Angels can pose as people. Demons cannot. Demons can possess people. But we'll talk about that at another time. Let's talk about the heavenly hosts. There's angels of war. Matthew 13:41 through 42 says, the Son of Man, that's Jesus, will send out his angels, and they will gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and those who practice lawlessness, and will cast them into the furnace of fire, and there will be wailing and gnashing of teeth. So when it's time for the end, angels will be carrying out some tasks that aren't going to be those friendly kind of tasks. It's to take care of the evil in this world. And you know as well as I do, we want that evil gone. There's also, in the heavenly host, there's angels of praise. And Luke 2:8 through 14 talks about when Jesus was born. And the angel appeared to the shepherds that were abiding in the field. They were watching over their flocks. And an angel appeared, and they were frightened. They were scared. And so if you can imagine an angel appearing and you're afraid, these guys fought all kinds of things, all kinds of animals that would try to get the sheep. But the angel told them, fear not. For behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy. So the angel had to say, relax. Relax. You can relax. I'm not going to destroy you. So I can't even imagine seeing an angel. But I did see an angel one time when I was praying for my grandson. He was 2 years old. And my daughter and I were praying. She was getting ready to move out of the house and marry. And we were talking about it. And she said, Mommy, I wish I could just know that I'm protected. And I said, I do too. And we were sitting in the living room. We looked into the kitchen area at the same time. And I saw my grandson playing with his cars. And I saw this light. It went through the roof of the house and through the floor of the house. And it was just a flash. I looked at her. She looked at me. And we both said, did you see that? So we were praying and we were concerned about the little 2-year-old, my grandson, my first one, and her child. It was awesome. But just like we read in Matthew 18:10, it states that angels watching the little ones always see the face of God. Then it stands to reason that angels were present at your birth. Psalm 139:16 says, your eyes saw my substance, talking about God, being yet unformed. And in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. So God knew when you were being born, and I just think angels on assignment. I mean, you're born, your angels looking at you and looking at the face of God continually. This is something I think we can relax and rest in. And you know, there is a time for man to die. It says that we all have an appointment for death. But you know, nothing's going to harm you when you're in God's care until that time when you are supposed to go be with the Lord. And speaking of death, there are angels at death. There was a certain beggar named Lazarus. He was full of sores, and he was laying at this gate, desiring to be fed with crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. So I'm thinking the rich man lived inside the gate. He was outside the gate. And moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Dogs are awesome, aren't they? But when this beggar died, he was carried by angels to Abraham's bosom. And Jesus tells this story. The rich man also died and was buried, but it doesn't say that he was carried by angels. So when it's time for me to go, you to go, because it is appointed unto man once to die, we will have an escort, a heavenly escort. So I hope that you can relax in that and know that God's everywhere all the time. He's got an army of angels working for us. He loves us. And if we can wrap our mind around that, I think we would all change for the better. But remember that we're not to worship angels. Let no man cheat you out of your reward, taking delight in false humility and the worship of angels. We're not going to worship angels. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.